Hey, Al Conway here, and we got Dan with us today too. We figure since it's been over a year since we've made a YouTube video together, we're gonna run over our harvest setup real quick here. Okay, so this is our first year helping out Dan's dad.
Yep.
He's got a 9500 combine.
50th anniversary generation.
Yeah. And so with Dan's brother being away, using the semi to haul fertilizer, it's down to us to haul the corn out of this field here. We were going to help out anyways though, because not everybody runs a 620 and a WD-45 and hauls grain with it. But we figure, you know what? Let's make an old video out of this. You know, it's kind of been a fat minute. Been seeing a few more subscribers pop up and figure we better please y'all with some content.
Oh, yeah.
So we got here a John Deere 620. We know the year on it, but we forget it all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty standard setup as far as we're concerned. Just don't let the power steering tag fool you. This tractor does not have power steering. They took it off. And yeah, tell them a little backstory on this, Dan.
So my grandpa bought this brand new from a guy in Ivanhoe. It was the last one bought out of there. And then my dad bought it for my grandpa. We traded it for a Farmall B, little Farmall B. So, you know, had a little tractor. And kind of ended up that way with it. She's been on the farm.
You know, she's not necessarily the cleanest tractor as far as the paint goes, but she is pretty clean. You know, she doesn't have a whole lot of dents like some of these tractors you see nowadays, you know, where they've been parked out in a pasture. But this one actually does a fair amount of work on the farm still. Yep. It pulls the seeder. It pulls the used to pull the 4-row corn planter until they upgraded to a 6-row 2000. 7,000.
6-row 30-inch
Yeah.
planter. So
And
now it pulls just a grain drill and a wagon.
Yep. And we like to take this one on a lot of tractor rides. Let's see, last year it was in the Gordyvik tractor drive, if any of you guys are from around here. And behind it, we picked this wagon up. This is actually our wagon. We picked this up for a heck of a deal on Facebook Marketplace. We picked it up for, I think, $400. Cylinder lift, Minnesota, number 130. Got all the original decals on it. Super 6-ton running gear, fully guaranteed. It's still got pretty good tires on it. You know, you can see a little bit of weather checking there, but we're still running them. What was the heaviest load we hauled with it for soybeans?
151 bushels.
We hauled 151 bushel with it. May not necessarily be the safest thing we've ever done, but hey, we did it. Yeah. Show you the inside of her. And, you know, for a wagon that was sitting outside when we bought it, it's got a pretty good floor in it. It only didn't set outside during winter time, thankfully. And when we hauled soybeans with it, we put a couple of little American flags on there. And you do have the option to open up the whole back, but due to the back sideboards being on there, so that way we can fill her full, you know, we no longer use that. Cylinder lift, it all fully works, and this is the only implement that we have that's actually cylinder lift.
Yep.
And so we use it to test the hydraulics on a lot of the tractors that we buy, even though we've only got one with working cylinder lift. And it can actually hook up to this wagon due to the hitch being too small. And so we just run it on the old 620. It's got dual cylinder hookup.
Yeah, one lift arm broke.
Yeah, it no longer has the lift arms on it, but never used that much anyways.
No, just a sickle mower in the winter.
And so then, so that's what Dan's driving.
Yep.
You can kind of call it the nostalgic setup. And this is a, let's see, when did we start this? Dan had the tractor since
2018.
2018.
Since I graduated.
He bought it a while back. And I'm going to wait to show it to you guys because you guys are going to be like, I've never seen something like that before.
I paid around $300 for it, and it was sitting in a barn, inside of by a dairy barn. They parked it. All I did was hole in the pistons, drain some water, and she ran since after.
And it was just a normal old 45. You know, the front end, the protection part for the radiator is kind of shot, but it was just a normal 45 until 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
COVID. Where we found, we've been talking about putting a set of duals on it. Now, in our county, there's only 2 other tractors that we know about that actually have a set of duals, but ours are a little bit different. These are clamp-on style duals. They clamp on to the slide-out rings where you can power slide out the wheels. We found these at Dar Auctions. Believe it or not, they're still in pretty good shape, minus them being weather checked a little bit. Picked them up for $55 on a tractor that Dan only paid $300 for.
Yep.
We put a homemade straight pipe on it. Straight pipe's not straight, but oh well. And for cultivating, we're working on wiring up some of these Sylvania pods, and then on the back we got blazer pods. Since this tractor, it did have original headlights on it,
Yeah,
but one of them, the bulb was completely missing and the glass was missing too, and only one side actually still had the bulb, glass, all of it still there. And so yeah, this is, it's a work in progress.
Ain't pretty, but she's labor.
We put $55, dang near the same thing, into the carburetor. I got a new hose from the oil bath air cleaner to the carburetor. And we've, like I said, Sylvania pods on the front and blazer pods on the back.
What was it? The pump didn't work.
Yeah, we thought the pump didn't work. For whatever reason, it only had the 2-point arms hooked up. As you can see, the hose now dangles underneath there and drags all over the place. But we hooked up a brand new hydraulic line, right there, 5,800 psi. I was wrong. Brand new rear hookup, and lo and behold, we hook it up to our Minnesota wagon, and it works. And we figure it's the fact that even though this tractor sat outside in the cold, all that Minnesota nastiness, it was the fact that it still had the 2-point line hooked up that saved this hydraulic pump
From rotting.
From getting froze up and all that stuff. And so now all of a sudden we've got our first tractor with working hydraulic lift. You know, she runs pretty good. She does smoke a little bit every now and then, but what do you expect from a tractor that's over 30 years old?
Yeah.
You know, you know, it doesn't get much better than that. And as hard as it is to see, you can see it says Kruger Implement Company, which was pretty much in our backyard. It's right up in Plainview, Minnesota. Anybody that grew up in Minnesota would know that. Or if you're from somewhere else in Minnesota or South Dakota, North Dakota, you know, you might know about it. But otherwise, this is a WD-45. And since this one you know, these two tractors are pretty closely matched as far as horsepower and speed goes. But thanks to my grandpa, out of the kindness of his heart and not having his corn coming out, we've got another Minnesota, you know, picture a common theme here, 260. This is, like I said, it's my grandpa's gravity wagon. And she's pretty clean. We've had this, other than the leaves, we'll have to open up the door and get the leaves out. Can hold 260 bushel. We've had this, for a few years now. And on our farm, we've got 6 gravity wagons. Well, I should say on my grandpa's farm. We've got 6 gravity wagons that we usually run. We've got 2 Minnesota. We've got an old 260 and a new 260. This is being the newer of the two. On Minnesota running gear, you know, it got switched around by the owner before my grandpa. So there is no ladder on the back. That's why you see the ladder on the front and the safety triangle on the front. Because for our grain bin setup, we have to dump off the right side, not the left side. Bought it at Kelmis Implement. You know, they're still around today. So plug in Kelmis Implement, and you can see it still has the original tag on it. MCI box, Stillwater, Minnesota. And you can still read the serial number of 15318-91. And so that's our grain setup. Minnesota 10-ton, Minnesota 6-ton, and a redneckanized WD-45 and a fairly original 620. And you know, we really hope you guys enjoy these little sporadic videos that we make. Ain't that right, Dan? Oh, yeah. You know, we'll have some more future content. Someday we'll have to go over all the... When we get the new tractor that we bought, we'll have to go over the tractor collection. Yeah, it's for another day and time. It is... We'll give you at least this. It is another Alice Chalmers WD-45, which makes it 3 that we own. Yeah, 6 tractors in total. But that's for another day. So, from us here in Utica, Minnesota, we really hope that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And, you know, let us know if you like seeing content like this, and we'll do more in-field videos like this. You know, this might be one of possibly a couple to come. You know, we still got another field of corn up there, but it's no guarantee that you'll see me on it. So, otherwise, see you in the next one.